your revenue in your business, you need to have the right mindset. And the perfect person to come on and talk about that is Miriam Villegas, because she is a success and mindset coach. She has trained with Bob Proctor, obviously one of the great trainers in the um, human potential and growth space. So Miriam, so great to have you here on Cash In on Camera today to talk about mindset. And I think sometimes there's some misconceptions, right, around mindset. It sounds a bit woo-woo. And I'd love for you to tell us, in your definition, what does it mean to have the right mindset for business?
hmm Hi, Sheryl. It is really an honor to be on your show today and to talk about my favorite subject, the mindset. And like you said, a lot of people they think it is woo woo. And honestly, I thought it is woo woo too before I started this. Um, but what got me into it was actually that I'm like, Bob is so convinced. All the other speakers are so convinced. Whenever I saw the movie The Secret, this is how I actually started for the first time to hear about it. And then I'm like, what if it's true what they say? Because there's so many people and they all say it's the same and they all say it's working. So maybe it is not woo woo. So I started actually as a fun exercise. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see if what they were saying was real. And I started to manifest to my surprise. And I'm like, I can't believe this is working. So this was the moment for me that I realized, oh my gosh, first of all, they are right. And second, my mind is way more powerful than what I would have thought because I thought only the doing is what makes you successful. But
And
it's
listen,
actually
I
not
mean, there's
true.
some truth to that, that, nothing's going to just, fall into place without you taking action. You have to
hmm
be actioning things and, moving forward and moving through fear and taking action nonetheless.
hmm
But to your point that mindset is not something that is only for a few people. Like, it's worked for many, many people. Some of the most successful people, in fact, I would argue the most successful people, do have their mindset right. And that has been and that's what's led them to a lot of the success that they've gained. But I want to know what your definition of mindset is. Is it simply the way that you think? Is it more about beliefs? Is it more about values? Like, how do you define mindset when you're out in the world doing your best work?
hmm It is actually a combination of all of what you just said. We have to know who we are. So we are a spiritual being in a human body and we have an intellect. So we are operating on three different planes at once. And like you said, a lot of people they are confused when they think about the mind, they think about the brain. But your brain is actually just a switching station, an electronic switching station. It is a tool for you to use that allows you to think. So the mind is way more than that. And if you want to be successful, you need to really align your spirit, your intellect, and then your actions, everything together. And it is your attitude, how you act towards something, how you think towards something, right? So there is really no cap on what you can achieve. There is no cap to what you can become aware of. And I say aware because where you are right now in your life, this is a result of your thoughts, of your past thoughts, of your past actions, of your past attitude. So now, in order to be more successful, you have to, first of all, you have to know where you are going. You have to set a goal so that you have something that you are working towards to. And then you have to really bring your awareness to a higher level.
Isn't there something to be said also for taking responsibility for where you are? And we're talking specifically today
Mhm,
about business.
mhm,
We have to take responsibility for where we are in our business because of what you just said there, which is that this is the result of your thoughts and how you think of yourself and maybe your self awareness. But a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for that because they would rather blame the economy and
Yes.
things that they can't control. How
Mhm.
much of that do you see in your work?
We have to understand that we can teach ourselves to go beyond our five senses. So if someone does not take responsibility, he's just seeing the outside world, his current results. And you know that our five senses, everything that you can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch, those are things that influence us. This is basically how we were conditioned to live. But if you want to go a step higher, a step further, if you want to achieve something that is so big that you don't even know how to do it, this is whenever you need to train yourself and to show yourself to go beyond your senses, to not letting your life controlled by your current results, because it is a result of your past actions, of your past thoughts. So what you want to do is, in order to get more better results, you have to go further. You have to learn how to operate on that new person. And everything that you have right now, this is what you attracted, this is what you created. There is actually a law, it's the law of cause and effect. It's a natural law of the universe. So when you look at your life, where you are in your business, you made several decisions in the past that led you in your business and also in your personal life where you are right now, right? So when you say, okay, I want to open my business, you did it. It was a decision you took. I want to work with this program. I want to work with this virtual assistant. I want to work with this marketing company. It is a chain reaction of decisions that you took that led you to where you are right now. Now, if there is somebody, let's say you're working with a coach, and he says, I have the $1 million method to really scale your business to the next level. The best method cannot help you if you are too much in the doing and less in the belief.
Yeah, so much of it has to do with your ability to believe that you're capable of doing the thing that is a thought in your mind.
Yes. So the moment you think something, this is that you have to become aware it is yours. Whatever it is that you want. If you want to make 6 figures, 7 figures, the moment you think it, it is yours. It's already yours. It is just on a different level in the unseen.
So, are you saying that just by the sheer fact that you were able to think of that thought
Mhm.
makes it a possibility for you to achieve?
Exactly. Exactly. And there is no limit on what you can achieve. Now you have to make your mind, you have to train it to really impress it to your subconscious mind. In your subconscious mind are sitting your beliefs, and your beliefs drive your whole life. They drive your actions, they drive your daily routine. So, what a lot of us do is whenever you set a goal that is so out of reach, they think about, but how can I get there? How? I have never done this. How would it be doable for me to do that? But instead of asking you how, you really should ask yourself who. Who is that person that has already achieved my goal? What is that person thinking? How is she acting? What are the what is the daily routine? What is the behavior that that person has? And I always tell my clients to think of it like in a third person, so that you really can create an imaginary avatar to get to know that person that is successful, and then just do what that person does. This is you. You have to adjust your behavior, your daily routines, your thinking, that you are already there. That's what I'm saying. At the moment you think it, it is yours.
Yeah. It's the who and not the how.
Mhm,
I want to know a little bit about your own personal
mhm.
journey in this space because you and I actually met a long time ago under different circumstances.
We
And it's funny how
do.
the world works. And then we came back together here
Mhm,
at a very different space for both of us.
mhm,
But I want to understand a little bit more about your journey and what inspired you to want to get into this particular type of work. Is it because
mhm,
you yourself weren't achieving the
mhm,
things that you wanted to achieve in business? Was it because you saw other people struggling and you wanted to be able to help them? Tell me a little bit more about the journey of how you came to do this type of work.
mhm. It was a personal experience that I had. It was, like I said, I started with watching the movie The Secret, and then I manifested a lot of different things. One was my husband. Then I manifested salary increases. Then I manifested my car. But the most important thing for me was the health of my daughter because she was born with 5 months and 3 weeks. She was teeny tiny, and the doctors could not even tell us if she's going to make it, if she's ever going to be normal. And the projections were very dark. So obviously, I'm still human. So I cried and cried and cried, and I was devastated. But at some point, Cheryl, it was like somebody switches a button in my head. And because of the work that I do, I was like, "What are you doing? You know exactly how this works. Don't let your outside circumstances dictate what you think. You want a healthy daughter, then act like that. Think like she was healthy." And this is what I did. So I was basically treating her like she was normal. I mean, we spent 6 months in the NICU. We ended up with a feeding tube because of a wrong medicine they gave her. Um, and then I was just treating her like she was normal while she was getting the feedings through her belly. I was telling her how amazingly that she would be eating because, like I said, our results come from the subconscious mind. And kids and even babies, when you're so little, your conscious mind is not there yet to decide what to think. So your subconscious mind is wide open and you believe everything that you hear. This is why we speak the language we speak, because through repetition, you hear it every
Yeah.
single day, you know? So I was knowing that by telling her how good she was eating, that at some point she would start eating. I didn't know when, and it took me a long
Right.
time,
And
you
and
know?
that brings up a good point, is that you don't know when that's going to come to fruition. There isn't any definitive time frame because we live in a place where we live under this illusion of time.
Mhm,
But in the manifestation world and in that space, it's like time, it's not about time. We just work within the confines of time on this planet. And so
yeah,
I wonder, and that's such a great example, by the way, of your personal experience with
mhm,
manifesting things in your life and really
mhm,
using mindset. And that's a personal experience. But, and I think a lot of people, from a business perspective,
mhm.
business is personal. If you're a
Yes,
coach and you're a consultant, I mean, or you're working as an entrepreneur, they
mhm,
meld together. Like, I don't really believe that it's a work life balance so much as your work and your life come together to some
yeah,
degree. And so from a business perspective, what how do we merge mindset? Let's say we get that dialed in and we're
mhm,
aware and we're manifesting and we're doing all the things that we have to do on the mindset side.
mhm,
Then comes the strategy part from a business perspective. These
mhm,
two things have to come together because
mhm,
it's not enough, or maybe the better question is to ask you, is it
mhm.
enough just to have mindset, or are we missing part of the equation?
Mindset alone won't bring you the success, the results, right? Now, strategy alone won't bring you the success either. Now, we know that there's a lot of different strategies out there, and people are always looking for, okay, which one is the one that brings me the success? But it's not so much about which strategy to pick. You choose. And this is what I teach my clients. You pick the strategy. Do you have a strategy that you like, that makes you feel good? Because it's all about the feeling, right? You need to be feeling good in order to attract the good that you want towards you. So, whenever you have that strategy that you feel good about, pick that one and ignore if it is the millionaire strategy or if it's just the six-figure strategy. If you like it, create the belief that this will be the strategy that works for you. And then is the point when the mindset comes into the place.
I
Because
love
then
that.
you need to believe it that this is the strategy that was created for you. This is the one that you want to run with, and this is the one that will create the results for your business.
I love that. And for those who are watching the video right now live, if you have questions, please post them in the chat. And if we deem it appropriate, we can answer your question and show that on the screen. So, Miriam, I love this. I think it's really talking about mindset as it pertains to also the strategy, merging these three things together, having the belief in yourself that if you can dream it, you can achieve it. I mean, that's where that came from because it's
Yeah.
true. If you can have that thought in your mind, it means that it's possible for you. And then I would also love to know a little bit more about the Success by Design. Tell us a little bit about the event. I know I'm a speaker as along with some other amazing speakers. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about it and why you put it together.
Mm-hmm. I put this event together because I really want to show female entrepreneurs that you can go beyond what you think is possible. A lot of times we're setting those big goals and we don't know the how. And every single speaker that comes on and shares the expertise went through the same thing. That even so, they picked a strategy which is amazing. And all of the speakers are extremely successful business leaders. They experienced that the strategy that they are using is only working when the mindset is in the right place. And I want to speak a little bit on resistance because a lot of times when we are in our business, things might be working really well, but when we're trying to get to the next level, then we might feel some sort of resistance. And whenever you are feeling this is actually a good sign that you are on the right track because what you are doing is you are stepping up to your higher self, to your more successful person that you are becoming. And the old one that you're seeing right now in your current life is trying to hold you back. It's your old programming. So when you feel resistant, it is a good thing. Just keep doing what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, and you will feel that resistance is going away. So now, this event, Success by Design, is going to be epic because all of those speakers have experienced how impactful the mindset can be. Success is actually 95% mindset and 5% strategy. This is always what my mentor Bob said. And if you are looking for better results, then I can highly encourage you to sign up and listen for yourself. How many of different strategies are out there and how you can handle it when you hit that resistance, or how the universe really guides you when you have that calling. I have a lady on there and she said she always had calling that she wanted to be a coach and she didn't do it because she was so afraid to lose the security of her full-time job, right? And then something really bad happened and she couldn't do her job anymore. But it was for her like a wake-up call from the universe telling her, you're not supposed to do this anymore. You're supposed to follow your calling. So it's a lot of personal stories, a lot of different strategies, a lot of different experiences, and it's just going to be amazing.
Miriam, thank you so much for putting that together for all of us, the speakers, the people who are going to attend, because so many people will be introduced and given the right strategy, as it were, to
Mhm.
how to use mindset properly to help them have success and do it on their own terms, right? Success by design, designing the type of life that you
Mhm.
want and the type of business that you want, which I
Mhm.
think we all aspire to do, especially in this day and age where we have a lot more choice.
Mhm.
So thank you for putting that event together. And I want to ask you, what is something that is working for you to market yourself? So, like, it could be a tip, a tool, a tactic, some type of technique that's
Mhm.
really helping you in the year that we're in right now that's helping you to market yourself?
Just be authentic, be you, and be honest. What has worked for you, what has not worked, where did you struggle? Because success is not a straight line to the top. This is what everybody always sees, right? And they say, oh, wow, you're so successful. Yeah, but nobody talks about that the straight line does actually look like this. And there are some downfalls, and you have to overcome exactly that you have to overcome those downfalls. So just be authentic. Tell everybody how you are, who you are, what you believe in, what your struggles are, how you were able to succeed and be visible.
Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for coming on the show today. We really, really appreciate it. And I'm honored to have been invited to come and speak at your event. So, Success by Design is going to be a success, no doubt about it.
And I'm going to be honored to have you on there, show us your amazing strategies about you too.
Right. Thank you so much, Miriam. Really looking forward to it. And thank you so much for watching the broadcast live, the video broadcast. Cash In on Camera is also repurposed to audio format as well. So we, of course, encourage you to follow the show at Cash In on Camera. If you go to cashinOnCamera.com, you can listen on Spotify, choose any of your favorite podcast platforms to take in the show and share it with a friend who could benefit from learning how to cash in on camera. If you're a coach, consultant, or an expert looking to scale your business, that's really what we talk about here is media marketing and monetization to help you scale. So thank you so much for being here today and really appreciate your viewership, your listenership, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode.